And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey, I'm Tom Vasel.
And I'm Melody.
All right, this is the third in a series that we're doing of abstract games from Maranda. They've done 6 of them, so we're looking at them: Pathagon, Eternus, Abacan, Quadify, Hexover, and Trapex. Today, we're taking a look at Pathagon. The simple goal of this game is to build a path from one side to the other. Of the 6 games that Maranda has done, I think this is the most original of them. Is it any good? Time to find out. In Pathagon, the person who has the light-colored hexes is trying to make a path from this side to this side. It doesn't really matter how the path progresses. Obviously, you can just go for a straight path across. You'd win that way, but you can also curve and get across too. It doesn't really matter as long as you can draw a path. And the dark color is trying to go from the top to the bottom here. So on your turn, you can place a piece anywhere on the board, and you just keep placing pieces back and forth. But one of the things that you can do is if you put a piece and you have 2 pieces that are both on the side of one other piece, then you can capture that piece. Not capture, but you remove it from the board. And on their next turn, they can't place one there. So then you basically can take that spot from them. It's only 1. You can't capture more than 1 at the same time. You can't get a whole row. But you can see that what you'll do is you'll line up, but if you deliberately try to capture someone else's, well then what they're likely going to do is get rid of one of yours. And so there's this cat and mouse play because you're trying to form a row across the board. But at the same time, you're trying to maneuver to positions where you can get rid of the enemy's pieces. That will stop him. He'll have more pieces and get your own on the board. Once all your pieces are on the board, then you can take a piece from one spot and move it to another spot. But likely you won't have to worry about that very long because your opponent will likely find a way to get your pieces off the board. So once again, the first person to make a path from their side to the other in either direction is the winner, and players will alternate placing pieces and removing them if they capture them until that happens. Here's what we're going to do with Pathagon, as we're doing with all these games, is we're taking a look at these and we're going to compare them to the other 5 and tell you if it's our 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th, or 6th ranking there. And we're going to talk about, whether we like the game or not. So I'm going to go first. Pathagon for me is number 1 out of 6 for these. It's my favorite game, and that's for a couple reasons. 1, because it's original. The other 5 are interesting, but they're derivatives of other games. This one probably is too. I've played other abstract games where you try to connect the path, but this one just seemed very enjoyable. Has super high production, like all these games have been having. It's just interesting, the concept of going back and forth, and like all these games, it doesn't last that long. We're talking 10 minutes. But I find myself really trying to outthink my opponent. What are they going to do? Well, obviously they're trying to connect the line, but are they going to capture me? When's the best time to try to make a capture on them, and will it cause my piece to be captured instead? It's a very interesting game, and it's one I'd like to delve more deeply into. So Pathagon is my favorite of these 6 abstract games. What about you?
It's my number 3.
Oh, that's pretty good. Still in the top 50%.
Well, I liked it because making the path was a lot of fun, and trying to trap my dad was not my kind of thing, but I still had fun moving around my pieces and trying to connect the line and trying to go around my dad, who always blocks me.
So if you're going to get just one of these games, this would be the one I'd recommend. It probably has the deepest strategy in it also. It says it's 6 to 99, but I think that you'll see the difference between ages in this one more than others. Pathagon.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find the latest board game news at Dicetowernews.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Pathagon Games, the world's best game source. Pathagon Games has over 5,000 games available. Check them out at Pathagon.com.